Amidst India's pandemic fight, Modi government is making 7 years in power a subdued manner. There are no celebrations. The party has been observing COVID Seva Divas with big outreach at village levels. Prime Minister addressed Mann Ki Baat, referred to COVID pandemic, calling a big blow to lives and economy, pledged to make India emerge victorious, said that India has experienced many moments of national pride. The BJP and opposition crossed swords. The opposition Congress accused the Modi government of an all-round failure, including the vaccine and COVID front. Nadda attacked opposition parties, accusing them of breaking the morale through misinformation campaign.
साथियों, इन 7 सालों में भारत ने डिजिटल लेन देन में दुनिया को नई दिशा दिखाने का काम किया है। आज किसी भी जगह जितनी आसानी से आप चुटकियों में डिजिटल पेमेंट कर देते हैं, वो कोरोना के इस समय में भी बहुत उपयोगी साबित हो रहा है। आज स्वच्छता के प्रति देशवासियों की गंभीरता और सतर्कता बढ़ रही है। हम रिकॉर्ड सैटेलाइट भी प्रक्षेपित कर रहे हैं और रिकॉर्ड सड़कें भी बना रहे हैं। इन 7 वर्षों में ही देश के अनेकों पुराने विवाद भी पूरी शांति और सौहार्द से सुलझाए गए हैं। पूर्वोत्तर से लेकर कश्मीर तक शांति और विकास का एक नया भरोसा जगा है। साथियों, क्या आपने सोचा है ये सब काम जो दशकों में भी नहीं हो सके, इन 7 सालों में कैसे हुए? ये सब इसलिए संभव हुआ क्योंकि इन 7 सालों में हमने सरकार और जनता से ज्यादा एक देश के रूप में काम किया, एक टीम के रूप में काम किया, टीम इंडिया के रूप में काम किया। हर नागरिक ने देश को आगे बढ़ाने में एकाध कदम आगे बढ़ाने का प्रयास किया है।
जो लोग आज वैक्सीन पर हल्ला कर रहे हैं, ये वही लोग हैं जिन्होंने प्रधानमंत्री जी को जब वैक्सीन वो बना रहे थे उसके लिए भारत के उद्यमियों को प्रेरित कर रहे थे, जब रिसर्च के लिए वो उसको प्रेरित कर रहे थे, तो हर तरीके से भारत के मोराल को तोड़ने का काम विपक्षी पार्टियों ने किया। क्या कहते थे उस समय? इसमें थर्ड ट्रायल ठीक से नहीं हुआ है, बिना थर्ड ट्रायल के लोगों को अगर ये दे दिया जाएगा तो उनके जान को जोखिम में डाला जाएगा। ये बीजेपी की वैक्सीन है, ये मोदी जी की वैक्सीन है। उस समय तरह तरह के प्रश्न खड़े करने वाले लोग आज वैक्सीन 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 को चिल्ला रहे हैं।
आज 7 साल हो गए देश को एक नाकाम, नाकारा और नासमझ सरकार का बोझ ढोते हुए। मेरा देश भुगत रहा है। मेरा देश भुगत रहा है क्योंकि आर्थिक मंदी के काले बादल चारों ओर मंडरा रहे हैं। यह 73 साल में देश की सबसे कमजोर सरकार साबित हुई है। साफ है साथियों कि देश 7 सालों की मोदी सरकार की निर्मित बदहाली को भुगत रहा है।
Kamalji Sandhu now joins us live for the very latest on the story. Kamalji, Nadda has made a strong charge on the opposition party, saying that they are spreading misinformation campaign. Has the opposition party reacted to this particular charge?
Well, you know, there is a blame game on, and definitely the opposition finding issue on a platter because this is 7 years of Modi government. They're calling it misgovernance, but JP Nadda, we are still at his residence in a short while ago. He had hit out at the opposition party, calling them Badhak, basically saying that they are the ones who are causing obstruction. First, they created what he alleged as vaccine hesitancy, and later on, he went on to say that as far as doing something for people are concerned, Modi government has been doing enough. But the opposition is doing a negative role because they're actually not found on ground. They're only available on TV panels and on Twitter. So calling themselves Sadak and calling the opposition as Badak. So a positive word for the BJP and a negative word for the opposition. So even if it marks 7 years of Modi government, remember the politics can never be too far away. BJP taking pot shots at opposition, the opposition hitting right back at them. And this is going to be a day of politics despite COVID-19 pandemic.
All right, leave it at that. Thanks for joining us. We're getting some breaking news coming in at the moment. Breaking news coming in. Some relief for Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa amidst murmurs of discontent in the party. Around 10 to 13 MLAs met Chief Minister and said infighting is not necessary during COVID. And MLAs urged the Chief Minister to act against CP Yogeshwar, who was in Delhi to complain against the CM to High Command. MLAs have told the Chief Minister they stand by him. Nagarjun is now joining us for the very latest on this story. Nagarjun, what's going on with the Karnataka government? These MLAs have met the 10 to 13 MLAs have met Chief Minister. It's going on to say fighting is not necessary and have urged the Chief Minister to act against Yogeshwar too.
Last week, Mr. Yogeshwar was in Delhi trying to complain against the way the government is working to the High Command, and also there are a couple of MLAs who want to approve them. So she has come up to the party itself that few MLAs did have a dinner meeting trying to assert themselves as to how the Chief Minister is not at the right time, the right chair right now, continue to move it back. But however, they 10 to 30 of pro-Yediyurappa camp MLAs met the Chief Minister and told him that the infighting is unnecessary during the COVID crisis. It's bringing bad name to the party as well as the government, and also demanded action against the minister.
Nagarjun, we'll have to re-establish that connection with you in just about a bit. Delhi is going to be seeing over 45,000 cases of COVID in the third wave. 9,000 hospitalizations will be needed, says a report prepared by IIT Delhi. It is one of the 3 scenarios as per them. The report also says the medical sector needs to be ready. Here's the report.
Delhi will see a surge and it could challenge the national capital once again. That is what a report submitted to the Delhi High Court by IIT Delhi says. Surge in cases up to 45,000 a day, with 9,000 hospitalizations every single day can be expected. Prepare for the third wave is what the report is suggesting. The suggestions include building oxygen storage capacity, looking at supply of oxygen from outside Delhi, preparing a portal for the same, ensuring compatibility of nozzles, refillers, capacity evaluation, planning manufacturing units for oxygen production, and addressing shortage of cryogenic oxygen tankers. Overall, scenario building plan the infrastructure requirements for COVID third wave.
The IIT Delhi Department of Management, in its detailed status report before the Delhi High Court, has flagged 9 specific areas of concern, which includes not only oxygen transport, distribution and storage, but also the online databases and apps created by the Delhi government to keep track of the hospital beds, oxygen, medicine, etc. availability. In addition, the IIT report also says that the third wave of the pandemic could be even more infectious and could require even more hospitalization, beds and oxygen for the city. The Delhi government has assured court that their plan for COVID management going forward will take into account all of these areas of concern.
The report says there could be 3 scenarios. Third wave scenarios. Number 1, same as peak patient load of COVID-19, second wave. Scenario number 2 is 30% increase in patient load over scenario 1. Scenario 3, 60% increase in patient load over scenario 1. The medical industry has approached the government saying the need is to stockpile COVID essential medical items to face the third wave, same as at least 47 of them. Experts are saying there is an urgent need to create a stockpile of 25 to 30% of the annual national demand and warehouse it in the 4 geographical zones.
We've been recommending to the government to create a stockpile which should be 25 to 30% of the annual procurement by the central and state governments as a national stockpile at 4 different geographical zones, and to create a production-linked incentive scheme, which is more important for the MSME sector to ramp up the production of these critically needed 41 COVID medical device items, and to reduce GST on the 18% COVID medical device items to 12%.
The 47 essential COVID items that the industry wants stockpiling of range from air mattresses to swabs to digital thermometers, masks, PPE kits, glucometers, among others. The industry has also said there should be a reduction in GST from 18 to 12% for 40 medical devices.
As we saw with the PPE and the COVID test kits, India has to depend on itself. We look forward to the government of India announcing some encouraging schemes for the local manufacturers to boost sales and stockpile of the essential items.
These projections made by scientists for Delhi and for different parts of the country help in assessing the situation. It puts the focus back on where we need to prepare. It looks like that the third wave is inevitable. The idea is to ensure that no reaction is knee-jerk and that this time around the virus doesn't get the better of us. With Anisha Mathur in Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today.
Let's get you a daily vaccine tracker now. The highest is Uttar Pradesh. Dose 1, 2,99,303. Dose 2, 25,408. The lowest has been Manipur with 6,814 first dose and 63 second doses. Karnataka's Bagalkot district has managed to contain the spread of COVID, and the credit goes to medical staff who are at the forefront. MBBS doctors with ASHA workers are putting their lives on risk and conducting door-to-door survey to trace the deadly virus. Here's more.
With just over 3,000 active cases, Karnataka's Bagalkot shows the way on how to contain COVID spread, especially as virus ravages several rural districts of the state. In the Shirur village, MBBS doctors, as part of their medical internship, walk side by side ASHA workers as they conduct door-to-door survey to find out if there are COVID cases.
Medical interns are being put to use to go door to door. Earlier it was ASHA workers, but this time these are doctors themselves who are going door to door, talking to people and getting information from them based on various parameters to understand if they are suffering from COVID.
We have taken the interns because they are trained already. We have sensitized them and we have given them the protective measures also. And they are doing it house to house. First, they are asking the symptoms. They are checking their oxygen, saturation, and they are screening with that thermal screening. So if anybody found serious and anybody having mild or moderate symptoms, they have given the health education along with what to do. And if any case serious is there, we send them to our Kumareshwar Hospital, which is under BVV SN Medical College.
So the doctors have been given a set of questions to ask each and every villager. Based on the replies, they can understand if the person is sick or not and what needs to be done next.
They were asked mainly questions like, have they got a fever, cough, sore throat, running nose, and diarrhea, vomiting. All those symptoms they were asked, and whoever has got the symptoms, they were given COVID like kit, basic antibiotic with antipyretic, and if the symptom doesn't come down, they were shifted to Kumareshwar Hospital. An RT-PCR test at the doorstep only. At the doorstep only, the government has provided some health workers where they do RT-PCR test for suspected cases. And we start them on tablets.
Every single COVID case left unattended can lead to others being infected. This survey work therefore plays an important role in controlling the surge.
As we go to the respective houses in the villages, most of them are very receptive towards it. Some of them are irritable. But as we approach them, we ask them the basic questions. Most of us know Kannada here, and since Kannada is a local language, they are very receptive to what we ask. Some of them are vaccinated, some of them are not. Some of them have symptoms and some of them don't. So they are not particularly afraid, but we are getting the statistics down.
Medical interns working in private hospitals are also being roped in to track and trace COVID cases in the villages.
अभी तक 40 villages cover किया है. 33,000 homes, it comes to 1.5 lakh people. ये इतना अभी cover हुआ है. हमारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में क्या है 7 असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी है और 9 तालुकाज है। वो सारा तालुका अभी कवर कर रहे हैं हम। तालुक हो, डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर हो और रूरल एरिया हो, सबको कवर करके घर का इसका जांच करने से किसको बुखार है, खांसी है, वो पता चल जाएगा। उसको CCC में कोविड कोरोना केयर सेंटर में शिफ्ट कर सकते। ज़्यादा ये रहे तो हॉस्पिटल को शिफ्ट करते, तालुका हॉस्पिटल, डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल, आवर हॉस्पिटल, कहीं भी।
Now, with cases increasing in the rural parts of Karnataka, these door-to-door surveys will play an important role in catching those villagers who are infected so that they in turn don't infect others. Now, it's a simple process but very, very effective. With video journalist Madhuwar, Nolan Pinto for India Today in Bagalkot district.
Days after Mehul Choksi was arrested in Dominica, India Today TV has accessed photographs where he's seen behind bars and has injury marks on his body. In a startling revelation, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown said that Mehul Choksi left Antigua with his girlfriend, but he was caught in Dominica. Antigua also said that after his arrest, an Indian plane has arrived in Dominica with documents from Indian courts to confirm that Choksi is fugitive and he may be deported back. Antiguan Prime Minister also alleged that Choksi was funding the opposition party in Antigua so that if the opposition party wins elections, then Mehul Choksi will be let off the hook. The pictures of alleged assault emerge after Choksi's lawyers allege he was abducted from Antigua and Barbuda, forcibly taken to Dominica and badly beaten up. However, Antigua and Barbuda police chief denied allegations by Choksi's lawyer, said that no information or indication that Choksi was forcibly removed from Antigua.
What is happening here, is that they are literally defending the campaign money. So here's a situation in which Choksi had the best law firm representing him. He had what's his name there? The law Dorset and Watt, Sir Gerald Watt and Dr. Dorset.
Yes, David
Their law
Dorset.
firm defending him, doing a good job. In fact, they're the ones who moved quickly and really avoided the revocation of his citizenship and tied up everything in court. But some UPP individuals befriended him, started to take money from him, small contributions. And he promised them big contributions since they told him that they will get their UPP lawyers to get him off the hook, and that if they win the next general elections, that they will protect him.
I heard about there seemed to be a report of a particular jet, a private jet that has arrived in Dominica from Qatar. Have you been following that story?
Yes, I can confirm that there's a jet there. My understanding is that the Indian government has sent certain documentation from the courts in India to confirm that, Mr. Choksi is indeed a fugitive. And my understanding, the documentation will be utilized in the court case that will be heard, or the court hearing next Wednesday. As you know, the judge in Dominica had actually put a stay on his deportation until the hearing next Wednesday. So the Indian government seemed to be going all out to ensure that he is repatriated to India so that he can stand charges there.
Let's now listen into what Antiguan opposition leader had to say about Choksi.
The fact is, the process started here in Antigua, quite rightly, with a request from the Indian government. Mr. Choksi wasn't just located in Antigua, he's a citizen of Antigua and Barbuda. How can you send someone to a country where they have no citizenship and no right to reside? It has to be Antigua and Barbuda because he's not a citizen of India. India is the country of his birth, but by virtue of Section 9 of the Indian Citizenship Act, he would have relinquished that citizenship in India. And so his citizenship is an Antiguan and Barbudan citizenship, and therefore this has to be the place that he's sent back to. He's an Antiguan, even though he was born in India.
Oil leakage reported from barge named Gal Constructor at Vadrai, Palghar on Maharashtra coast. The leak process possesses threat to sensitive ecosystem. Gal Constructor barge was anchored near Alibag due to cyclone Tote. However, anchor broke and it moved to the sea where 137 people were on board. The barge reached Vadrai, Palghar area, which is over 100 kilometers away from Alibag. At Vadrai, Palghar, the barge struck some rocks and diesel oil from it started to leak. There's over 80,000 litres of oil in the barge. 137 people were rescued by Coast Guard and Indian Navy. The locals mainly dependent on fishing. They allege that the fish are now smelling diesel. ONGC, AFCON, Coast Guard, other officials are trying to stop the leakage and unload the diesel.
Huge destruction was caused due to cyclone Tauktae, and its effects can be seen even now. On 17th May, when this cyclone was passing through Mumbai, one barge was anchored near Alibag with a tugboat. Now the cyclone was such a high speed that the anchors uprooted and the barge was aground, and now it has reached several kilometers away from Alibag here in Palghar. This is the barge here you can see, and now it has stuck on the rocks over there inside this particular sea. Now what's the most important concern over here is that it contains 80,000 liters of diesel oil, and that is starting to leak, which is causing a serious concern and danger to the marine life. Not just the marine life, but also to the business of the locals here in Vadrai area of Palghar, because most of this area, the Vadrai area of Palghar, they are completely dependent on fishing. Now what they are claiming is that the fish which they are catching, there is a smell of diesel oil coming from the fishes. So therefore now they have stopped fishing over here. The most important concern right now is to stop the leakage, that it does not spread in this whole open sea. Now they have properly barricaded, they have cornered the whole barge with booms. Booms are basically, they are laid around the whole barge that the oil does not comes out. But here in the visual you can see how the sea is very, very rough. This is extremely rough sea over here, and with 2 high tides in a day, the oil is actually jumping from the boom and it is coming out, which is a very serious concern. Now the ONGC officials along with the AFCON, the Coast Guard are completely monitoring the situation. There are 2 different barges which are being deployed over here to remove the oil. The most important part right now is to completely stop the leakage or unload the whole diesel oil from this particular barge. Until and unless if this is not done, it will cause a great danger to the marine life and also to the business of the locals here. With camera person Rakesh Salaskar, this is Saurabh Vaktania in Palghar for India Today.